Salam, peace. So, former US President George W. Bush delivered a speech. Either it is to do with China, their weapon of mass destruction, or North Korea, their weapon of mass destruction, or Iran, their weapon of mass destruction, nuclear weapons. Here is talking about Russia, the forced imprisonment of its people. Diligent listener, listen what you have to say. Listen to what you have to say. His tongue is tongue of a cobra snake. His tongue is a tongue of a cobra snake. Listen very carefully.
In contrast, Russian elections are rigged. Political opponents are imprisoned or otherwise eliminated from participating in the electoral process. The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Iraq.
Out of his own mouth. See his tongue. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say or says about these evildoers, the corrupters of the earth, the mischief makers? I'm going to read from the Muslim Holy Book, the glorious Quran, in chapter 24, Surah Nur, verse 24, Arabic, then in English. Dear listeners, Bismillah, in the name of Allah. Allah is the Arabic word for God. يوم تشهد عليهم ألسنتهم وأيديهم وأرجلهم بما كانوا يعملون. The translation is, on that day, the day of judgment, when their tongues, their hands and their feet will bear witness against them as to their actions. The illegal war and occupation of Iraq under the pretext of weapons of mass destruction, and there were none, but there was plenty of oil, diamonds, minerals. The only people who had weapons of mass destruction was USA. Yes, and they bombed the hell out of that place, Iraq. Diligent listeners, so out his own tongue. So the glorious Quran, as I just read from chapter 24, verse 24, it is stated that on the day of judgment, the tongues, hands and feet of individuals will testify against them regarding their past actions now, and on the day of judgment there will be their past actions. So this verse emphasizes that on that day Allah, the Arabic word for God, will settle all account with full justice, and everyone will realize that Allah is the ultimate truth. That's one of his attributes. This emphasizes that certainty of divine judgment and the ultimate realization of Allah's, God's truth and power. So you can see now George W. Bush, out of his own mouth, he condemns invasion of Iraq, the serpent tongue, diligent listeners, guilty of heinous crime, one that is wicked, evil, significant suffering of people, the violence, brutality, cruelty, causing significant suffering and over 1 million Iraqi people died for their greed. Look at his face. So, diligent listeners, any comments are most welcome. One have to believe the ultimate justice. One of the attributes of Allah, He is just. You can get away in this world, especially you've got a wealth. You can buy people off. You can buy judges off. And like is happening now under Trump, he's also bought. So there had to be the one who is the judge of all judges, with one whose account, the account of people is with him on the day of judgment. Diligent listeners, there has to be. Otherwise, if somebody committing these atrocities, suppose it's one of your loved ones, someone get murdered and you do not get justice in this life. Obviously, we all like to have justice, but there are evildoers who are getting away with it, using their wealth, and they're using it in the wrong way because they have come slave to their own desires, materialism, the life of this world, but their loss will be in the hereafter, diligent listeners. So think about it, what I have said. Any questions are most welcome. Salam. Peace.